An average Malaysian that drives to work pays about 7 ringgit for petrol, 3 ringgit for toll, and 6 ringgit for parking. That's about 16 ringgit a day. Now, with the government's proposed congestion fees, your daily cost could double to 32 ringgit. That means you could be spending more than 8,000 ringgit a year in total just for working days. And yes, I'm not even joking, it's coming for us. Hear me out. Do you know that Malaysia has one of the highest private vehicle ownership rates in Asia? In fact, as of 2022, we are ranked second highest in Asia for both automobile and motorcycle ownership, and our country has more than 36.3 million registered vehicles as at 2024. That's even more than a population at 34 million, which means on average, every single Malaysian citizen would have at least one car in their lifetime. And since our population is expected to keep growing until 2071, reaching around 46 million people, you can only imagine the traffic condition is going to get worse in our country. And traffic jams aren't just annoying. According to the World Bank, commuters in Klang Valley waste over 250 million hours in traffic every year, and that's equivalent to a loss of about 1.1 to 2.2% of GDP. And a research by Prasarana shows that Malaysia lost 20 billion ringgit a year due to traffic congestion. The economic damage is real.
Government is considering a congestion charge in 3 major cities to ease traffic, pending further studies and cabinet approval.
Hence why a new congestion fee was brought up to the table, which drivers are charged if they drive on certain roads in KL, Penang and Johor during peak hours. The idea is very simple, to encourage Malaysians to switch to public transport and to reduce the congestion by up to 20%. And don't confuse congestion fees with tolls. Toll charges are tied to infrastructure. You use the road, you pay for it. But congestion fees are different. You are not paying for the road, you are paying to cut the queue. Although that raises a big question mark. Is this really a good solution to traffic jams? Or is this just one of those ideas that ends up making us pay more? Before that, if you are tired of all the hidden charges charged by banks when you travel or spend in foreign currencies, look no further. Wise is the choice for you. It helps you to manage your money internationally more cheaply, quickly and transparently. You can easily view Wise Fee in one glance at its website. It's super easy to understand. And not only that, with a Wise account, you can hold more than 40 currencies and use their debit card to shop, spend and withdraw money abroad in over 160 countries. The Wise card can also be used for contactless payments or pair it with Apple Pay for the ultimate convenience. Plus, say goodbye to high foreign transaction fees. Wise offers exchange rates at mid-market rate with no hidden fees. That means you pay exactly what you see, nothing more, nothing less. It is also regulated under Bank Negara Malaysia as well as 15 other countries and regions. Try Wise today for safer, faster, cheaper and hassle-free transfer. Check out the link below to get a fee-free transfer of up to £500. Okay, let's get back to the video. So, before we red flag or green flag this congestion fee, let's talk about how we ended up being here in the first place. The growth of car ownership was driven by a mixture of many factors. Apart from the rising income, mobility freedom and car culture, it was history that shaped us as of today. Back when Tun Dr. Mahathir was the Prime Minister, he had an inspiration for every family to own a car and support the car industry, thus creating Proton and Perodua. And for this reason, he is even blamed for the poor public transport system and disorganized urban planning that we all see today. Of course, we can't hold him fully accountable for the car-centric society that we have in Malaysia now, but many car-favouring policies still apply. For example, securing a car loan in Malaysia is relatively easy compared to many other countries. Take our neighbour Singapore to compare. The maximum car loan that they can get from a bank is 70% of the car's market value, while in Malaysia, we can get up to 90%. And coupled with extended loan tenures, low interest rates and affordable local cars, all these only make owning a car more attainable. Heck, even sales agents on social media are pushing hard for a new car ownership for people with less than 1.5k monthly income. I mean, that should tell you how bad the condition we are in right now. And it didn't help when Malaysia as an oil-producing nation introduced blanket fuel subsidies in the early 2000s, which kept petrol prices artificially low for all Malaysians. It doesn't matter if you're driving a Myvi or a Mercedes, you pay the same subsidized price of 2 ringgit and 5 cents per litre for RON 95 petrol. This made driving extremely cost-effective compared to many other countries like Thailand or Singapore, where fuel costs are a big deterrent to car use. So we can't really blame Malaysians for owning a vehicle. It's almost a no-brainer choice. And our city planning plays a huge role in traffic, especially the way we separate everything. Houses in one area, offices in another, shops somewhere else. It may look organized on paper, but in reality, it forces everyone to drive, even for simple things like buying groceries. Die also must drive. And every morning, millions flood into the same office zones, then jam their way back out in the evening. And instead of local malls near neighborhoods, we build mega malls so nice that people travel from across town just to go there to shopping. And this creates synchronized traffic, everyone moving to the same places all at the same time. Now, here's the catch. If you want people to take public transport, our MRT system needs to be within walking distance, but most of it isn't. I mean, even if it is, a lot are without proper or shaded walkways, and on top of that, pedestrians have to worry about getting snatched or drivers that don't even bother about zebra crossings at all. Stations are often built next to highways or empty land. I mean, take Filio Damansara MRT for example. It's right next to a golf course, separated by 8 lanes of highway. The nearest residential area is a high-end township, and let's be real, not many from there are taking the MRT. So most people still need to drive to the station, and even then, good luck finding parking. And we can't fully blame the planners. It's easier and cheaper to build along main roads without demolishing houses or buying private land. For example, MRT Kajang's land compensation alone cost 1.2 billion ringgit, with plenty of disputes that delayed their progress. And building in neighborhoods often sparks protests. Too noisy lah, attract crime lah, cause more jam lah. You get my point. Unlike Singapore or China, where land is state-owned, Malaysia's private land laws make things much more complicated. So, back to the topic, does congestion fees really help decrease traffic? I mean, while we see successful implementation in the past from countries like Singapore, UK and Sweden, can Malaysia also follow the same? In theory, it's efficient. Those who really need the road will pay more. But in reality, you might end up with a nurse working a late night shift forced onto unreliable public transport. Meanwhile, a dato heading for his golf game cruises through chaos roads without a second thought. I mean, it just doesn't sit right. And let's be honest, these fees tend to serve the rich and squeeze the rest. T20s in Bangsa or Mont Kiara won't even bat an eye at an extra 10 or 20 ringgit a day. They will just happily pay to enjoy the luxury of empty roads. Take London for example. They introduced congestion charges in 2003. At first, huge success, 18% fewer vehicles and 30% less congestion. That sounds great, but over time, traffic levels rebounded due to factors like the rise of ride-hailing services and exemptions for certain vehicles. And fast forward to 2024, London became the most congested city in Europe, with drivers spending an average of over 100 hours in traffic annually. So yes, congestion fees can work, but they need to evolve with the city. What worked in 2003 London didn't hold up in 2024 without constant updates and stricter controls. So that's not to say our government is not making any effort to improve the traffic condition at all, because there's also another strategy that has been implemented in Malaysia since the mid-2000s, and that's transit-oriented development or TOD. It's actually an urban development strategy that has been widely implemented in Singapore, but if this is your first time hearing it, it's basically building homes, shops and parks around public transport stations, all within walking distance, such as the likes of KL Central, TRX and newer condos near MRT lines. And ideally for TOD townships, the land mix should be about 50% residential, at most 30% commercial like shops and groceries, and the rest for public facilities like parks or roads to connect all of them. And clearly, most of our previously built stations don't fit as a TOD, because public transport back then were not built with housing projects in mind. But it's good to know that there are already quite a number of TOD condos in Kuala Lumpur, and more projects like this are coming soon. Now, here's where we can learn from Singapore. They've had congestion pricing since the 1970s, long before the MRT became world class. But they didn't stop there. They implemented a quota license called the Certificate of Entitlement (COE), which aspiring car owners need to bid before they can even register a vehicle to limit the total number of cars on the road. And man, their COE prices are crazy, and sometimes it's even more expensive than the car itself. And on top of that, do you know that Singapore also follows a weekday car plate system? The cars under off-peak car schemes, which carry red car plates, were much cheaper to own, but could only be driven on weekday nights, weekends, and public holidays. I know it doesn't seem like the best solution, but it created a way for lower income families to own a car with trade-offs, and they will always have the option for the efficient and affordable public transport at their service for daily commuting. Kind of like the best of both worlds. So yes, congestion fees can indeed reduce traffic, but without matching policies that ensure equal access and reliable alternatives, they risk becoming just another burden for everyday Malaysians who are just simply trying to get to work. So, just to be clear, congestion charges aren't happening yet. Our Transport Minister Anthony Loke said that the government is focusing on improving public transport first, so we still got time. And honestly, that's the low-hanging fruit. We need better trains, buses, and proper walkways. Build cities where homes, shops, schools, and even suraus are all walkable. Cost-effective stuff like covered walkways can already make a huge difference. Of course, we need ongoing traffic analysis, not just during festive seasons like Raya, and roads that can really keep up with growing demand and number of cars. So, a blanket congestion charge might reduce jams, but it's a short-term fix for a long-term problem. And selfishly, it's kind of an attractive solution to save time. But is it fair? That's the real question. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Bincangkan 5 markah. Until then, don't forget to check out Wise, the smarter way to manage your money internationally, cheaper, faster, and more transparent. Sign up using my link down below and get a fee-free transfer of up to £500. Thanks for watching.